various issues and resolutions were led out this afternoon. Later in the day today, from around 1 o'clock, we were then scheduled to have our People's Baraza at Mafoko, and we had a very successful meeting that we have just finished. So those of us you are seeing here are people who are part of that meeting. We have just come from Mafoko to try and talk about the issues that are concerning Kenyans. But I think there are also a few things that we need to clarify arising from developments that may have come from some quarters that are quite unfamiliar. Let me just start by saying something that is clear to us. Jubilee Party was formed and founded by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the former head of state or the former president of this republic. We have a functioning constitution that guides us as to what we can do and how and who. We have very many party organs provided for in the constitution. And one of the party organs that is provided for is called the National Executive Committee. The National Executive Committee is provided for in our constitution and can only be convened by two people or two officials of the party. One of the officials who can convene the organ is the party leader. The other person who is mandated by the constitution to convene such an organ is the Secretary General. Any other meeting convened by others outside the two party officials that I've mentioned is of no legal consequence. Secondly, where we are the Jubilee headquarters, the office of the Jubilee Party. We moved here maybe a week or two ago. If there are any party activities that needs to be conducted, they are conducted within these premises. Thirdly, Jubilee Party, during its NDC on the 26th of February last year, resolved to be part of Azimio. We resolved that we were not going to have a presidential candidate. Our presidential candidate was going to be Raila Amolo Odinga under Azimio coalition ticket. Jubilee was not going to field a presidential candidate. We are members of Azimio today, and that is why we were at Manzoni, and that is why we have just come from the Mafokolari. You have seen us in Kamukuji, Jacaranda, and even Kibla. And we are heading to Busia, we are heading to Kisii, we will be in Narok as scheduled by our Azimio party leader. But just to put a few things into context, June 2020, a section of the Jubilee then, now members of UDA, attempted to form a Jubilee Asili. They attempted to take over Jubilee, and they did not succeed. They went ahead to even try and form Jubilee Asili, and they had even some fake premises somewhere. It never went anywhere. These attempts will always be there, because there are those people who not want to identify with the cause that we have taken, the cause we took, and we have taken and we remain faithful to. And that is the cause of the Azimio coalition, where we are saying that we have an illegitimate regime in office, for the reason that the votes that we garnered under the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga were 8.1 million votes. The ones that were gotten by William RUTO, 5.9 million votes. Those figures were confirmed to us, and I want you to mark the word confirmed to us by the whistleblower. We always knew we won. And that is why we went to challenge the results at the Supreme Court. And it is still amazing that in a board or a commission of 7 people, you will go with a decision of 3 and ignore the decision of the majority, the 4. And those are some of the reasons why it is not possible for us to recognize this government. And we in Jubilee, we are part of the Azimio resolution that resolved, and even today, those resolutions were read at Mafoko, that we will not recognize this regime because they are in office illegitimately after having won the elections, after having stolen the vote and gotten into State House. We now are on a course to fight for the socio-economic justice of the people of Kenya. The cost of living has just gone beyond many of Kenyans within 5 months. We've seen a decline of many things in a manner that even when we were campaigning, none of us imagined it. You are witnesses that after leaving office last year in the month of talk about August, but the handing over was done in the month of September. The results of our examinations were released, and clearly they have been tampered with. Something we have not seen for the last 9-8 years. The cost of fuel through the ceiling. Cost of food through the ceiling. Criminal justice system collapsing on a daily basis. People who have been working in the civil service being sacked left, right, and center. Career civil servants have been put off their careers. And individuals with criminal backgrounds are the ones now reigning in this country. As a party, we will not allow Kenyans to be mistreated, mismanaged. We will not allow Kenyans to go without being heard. We will not allow them to suffer alone. This is a cause we have identified. We identified the solutions that we needed to put on the table, given the difficult times that we are in as a country and as a globe. We didn't get that opportunity because of the steal. We will continue pushing this regime. 1, they should leave the offices that they occupy because they are not in them legitimately. 2, measures to help the livelihood of Kenyans must be put in place and urgently. It's only today that they kicked out the Packrats vendors. Those are the mama mbogas. Na wakapigwa na tear gas. Kule Kamai, thousands of people are now fearful of the day their houses will come to be demolished because they had been allowed to reside and have those pieces of land next to Kenyatta University, next to the referral hospital by the Jubilee government. But this government came and reversed, and those people must now be evicted. In a minute, their houses will be demolished. We will start with those people. That is what is scaring the UDA government, the UDA regime, the guys in office illegitimately. And they are going to do everything on earth to ensure that any party that does not agree to abide by what they say and dictate is crushed. This is yet another of the attempts. what we have seen with a section of people who have always been with us, and I can tell you, some of us knew there were baggage a while ago. My shoulders are now lighter without that baggage because we have to move on. They will do this, not just to Jubilee. You will see them doing the same with the ODM. You will see them with Wiper. You will see them with the DAP or any other party that attempts to speak on behalf of the people. So we are not surprised by these moves. These are moves that are coming immediately after some people have been enticed to visit the State House. You start by going to Karen, then you come to State House. We have been told the figures that are being given for them to come and do what they are supposed to do. The team that we are told was in Nakuru was told to go and issue the statement from Nakuru when they went to State House. They are now, tonight, heading to Naivasha, where the president of UDA is. Now, on Sunday, they will be paraded at Nakuru. Mbele ya ile maombi itakuwako kule. Sijui kama watakuwa wakiobewa, watakuwa wakiomba, ama watakuwa wakisaidia kwa maombi. These are very, very archaic tactics that are being employed by this regime. You cannot come to crush everything. You are trying to arrest Makoha. We even know the others who have been Matiang'i. Oh, they were trying the Makoha. They would not have minded arresting Makoha, though he is now gone, and God rest his soul in peace. They wanted to arrest Matiang'i. Why? Every Kenyan know what Matiang'i stood for and how firm he was for the truth and facts and justice for the ordinary people of this country. We know the others who are lined up for it. My security was taken away a couple of weeks ago. Na hiyo haistui hata kidogo. Hii hatuachi na hatuachili. Yes? Na nakwambia kama umechoka na Jubilee, wewe uhame uende. We will still do the disciplinary action when it is done, but we are not going to conduct it in the public. It is not in the mannerism of this party to carry out those activities in public. We will do it quietly, slowly, meticulously, until we get rid of people who have no value in our party, and especially those who have already decided that their home is UDA. Na kama kweli umeamua kwenda kwa ile nyumba uishi huko, si uende huko ishi na wache kuacha harufu mbaya nyuma. Tembea tuenda. Hiyo ni haki yako ya kikatiba. But we will be everywhere. I am sure people did not imagine that we were going to be this clear after our election was stolen. This Jubilee team you are seeing here, and others who are not here, we managed to give, just from Mount Kenya region, before we bring in the other regions, because we have votes from other regions, from Mount Kenya region alone, we gave Raila Amolo Odinga 2.6 million votes. Chebukati declared 800,000. Now let me tell you this as my last statement. We will stand with those who voted for Azimio. We will stand with those who do not want to see the lives of Kenyans being ruined. And we will stand with every other person who believes that Jubilee is the party that will help us move this country again in a proper direction. Asante sana na Mungu awabariki. These gentlemen will want to say one or two things, and I allow them to do as kila mmoja.
Sorry.
Kila mmoja wakati yake.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank you for coming. I would like to thank you for coming. My name is Stanley Kimure. I'm a Stano. I'm the treasurer. And I don't want to take much of your time. Nataka kuambia hivi ya kwamba hiyo kitendo ambayo imefanywa siku ya leo ni kitendo ya watu ambao wanajaribu kujustify ile kitu wamekula kwenye walienda. Na sisi kama Jubilee, as you can see, sisi tuko imara na Jubilee iko ndani ya azimio la umoja. The purported coup by those busybodies, that because that is what I can call them, they are busybodies. Hiyo mtu apeleke kwa jamii yake, akafanye kuu kwa bibi yake na watoto wake. Sisi we are in Azimio to stay, and we want to tell them, tunajua what they were given kwenye walienda. Instead of ile pesa wanapewa huko, wanaenda wapelekee watu wao, wanachukua hiyo pesa kuenda sasa kukaa ni kama wanataka kuvunja Jubilee. Jubilee ni chama ambayo hiwezi vunjwa na watu wachache, and some of them we know them. Kuna wengine kati yao wanafunika, wengi wao wanafunika ukora ile walifanya kwa ile former regime. Wangeenda UDA before, tunajua wangeenda UDA before, lakini waliona ni kama wataanikwa. Sasa tutawaanika proper. Manake walikosa kuenda ili wasishikwe na wasipelekwe korokoroni. Sasa wameenda kufunika, na uangalie hao watu. Wengine ni wale walimefanya mambo ile tunashinda tukiongea ya KEMSA, na tulikuwa na wao. And we would like to tell you people that Jubilee haitakaa chini igoje tuone vile mnajaribu kusabaratisha. Some of them like those who are who have positions in bunge leadership, like chief, I don't know, chief, that lady, nominated member, I don't want even to mention her name. You know her tabia. Ni mtu wa leo hapa mahali kuna nukanuka, anakimbia, anarukaruka kwa sababu ya yale maovu ambayo wanajua wanataka kufunikia. Na tutawaanika, tunataka kuwaambia wameanzisha moto ambayo hawataweza kuzima. And I don't know even whether they know about what our constitution says, our party constitution. It is very clear. Mkutano iwezi kuitwa na mtu ambaye hata damu ya kwenye alitoka jana hajapanguza. Mkutano ya NEC inaitwa na party leader na secretary general ama party leader. Waende waangalie katiba. And whoever amewadanganya kwamba watabadilisha atuwachukue Jubilee waende, tunataka kumwambia wameng'oa. Kama mtu anajiona ni mwanamke ama ni mwanaume, enough. Awachane na kiti ya Jubilee, arudi kwa wananchi, wamchague, aingie vile Raila Amolo Odinga alifanya wakati alitofautiana na Ford Kenya. So tunataka kuambia hivi, kama neno langu la mwisho, yule ambaye ni nominated awachane na kiti ya Jubilee. Tuko na ladies hapa ambao wanaweza kukalia hiyo kiti, and they are here and they have worked for this party. They have worked for this party tirelessly. Na alafu mtu anaenda huko anawekelea suruali kwa kichwa, anapata kiti, alafu anaenda kupeleka hiyo suruali mahali kwingine. Tunataka kuwaambia umalaya wa siasa Jubilee hatuko nayo tena. Na lazima mtu aende aunde nyumba yake ama aunde chama yake. We want to tell our brother and our friend Kanini Kega, tunakuona na tunakujua. Tutaki kuspill beans, but ukisukuma zaidi tutaongea. So with those many remarks, thank you, and I want to assure you, Jubilee is here to stay. Now we are in Azimio to stay. Thank you.
Listen to Mundaro. He is a member of the NEC, the one representing the youth. Na ni vile tu tumekuwa area hii. Sema tu kwa haraka kupisha.
My name is Mundalo Advice. I sit on the National Executive Committee of the Jubilee Party, and that is to ascertain to you that the meeting that happened was dubious, because I'm a member of the NEC, but I am from Mavoko together with the Secretary General, and we're also here with other members of the NEC. So that purported NEC is the proverbial hot air that we've been treated to. What I would want to say is this: the Jubilee Party is in the business of fighting for the people right now. We're in the business of ensuring that the cost of living comes down. The Jubilee Party is in the business of ensuring that it pushes this regime to ensure that the fuel prices go down, to ensure that the Mamamboga get what they were promised by this regime. So we are not, it's unfortunate that we have people who would be busybodies, instead of sticking to this course, they are hereby organizing dubious meetings wherever that is happening. But we know, and we have been severally told by the SG, that the business of fighting for our country is very serious business. And only very serious people, like the ones who are standing here today, will be able to walk with us to the end. And therefore, as I finish, I want to state categorically the following. That one, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta is and remains the party leader of the Jubilee Party. Number two, that Honorable Jeremiah Kioni and Honorable David Murathe remain in office as Secretary General and Vice Chair respectively. Let me take that again for avoidance of doubt. That Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, together with Honorable David Murathe, remain in office as Secretary General and Vice Chair respectively and legitimately. 3. Honorable Kagwe Gichohi remains the Jubilee Party Treasurer. And lastly, that Jubilee is in Azimio, and Jubilee is in Azimio to stay, because the Azimio business is the business of Jubilee, because that is the business of the people of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much.
I don't know, just before the others speak, this lady may not want to say much, but she's also a member of NEC. She represents the persons with disability. If you want to say anything, you can say.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Wanja Maina. I am a NEC member representing disabled people in Kenya. As you are aware, disabled people are the largest minority in Kenya. They also happen to be the poorest. Since this illegitimate government took power, they have never given us our social protection money. And for us who are the poorest, live in the worst of conditions, the social protection money comes in handy. So when Kenyans are talking about harsh conditions of life, high cost of living, high cost of food, we are feeling the punch times 10. So as people are talking about who takes which office, who is better than the other, which party should be swallowed by the other, who should go to which coalition, our question is, wapi chakula, wapi pesa yetu ya social protection? We are the most marginalized Kenyans, and we are tired of shenanigans. All we want is our social protection money, all we want is food, all we want is low cost of living. So those are the issues that we care about. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Cecilia Karanja. I was vying for Women Rep Jubilee with the Jubilee ticket. And for me, I'm standing here to talk about the women who've moved to the other side, UDA. I just want to tell you that your time is over. I don't even think we need you.
We don't.
We don't need you in our party. Because we need people who are dedicated to the people of Kenya, the people who elected you in office. You cannot be having two standards. Huwezi kuolewa na bwana wawili, hiyo haiwezekani. You either you're in Jubilee or you're in UDA. So it is not sisi hauko ati you're not doing us any favor by walking away from Jubilee or being here in Jubilee. We have better leaders. In fact, we are wiping away all those people, old people, to get out of Jubilee. We have young turks who are dedicated, who are devoted to work for our party and to work for the people of Kenya. So if you think that you belong to the other side, which of course you've already gone there, umeenda umeonja hizo mambo ya ile side ingine. We don't want prostitute in chama. Nyinyi endeni mukae huko, sisi we want to remain here royal, and we are talking about those women who've gone to those chamas. Look at us. We can also lead.
Yes.
Yes, we have we have everything.
Yeah.
Kama ni matiti tuko nayo, kama ni
Kabisa.
nini tuko nayo, kila kitu tunayo. Hakuna ile kitu hatuna. So by the end of the day tunasema just quit and go. And utuache na amani. Hakuna, there's no way unaweza kuwa unasema you're in Jubilee party. Why are you not here? Why are you not talking in the head office? Kazi yako ni kwenda kuongelea kwa bedroom, mali mnafanyia hiyo mambo zenyu. And then muongelelea huko na sisi wachane na sisi. The other thing I want to talk about is, I want to talk to RUTO. When we started this politics, you say that
Haya usiku na kila mtu akupiche kwa sababu giza. Tunaonekana ama ni nyinyi tunaona. Malizeni tu. Haraka.
My name is Doris Karemi Muturi. I was a candidate sana. Yangu inaenda direct to Mr. President. Nadhani ulituahidi mambo mingi sana wakati wa uchaguzi. You promised heaven on earth. Ulituambilia maneno ya kushukisha unga bei, ukiweka Biblia chini unga itarudi shilingi 70. Sai Mr. President, watoto wanakula maembe wanalala. Wamama tuko na njaa. Mama mboga tunahangaika huku nje. Na ya pili, nimekwambia Mr. President na kuomba. Ulisema we ni president na ni kweli tumekubali we ni president. We kama president wa UDA, uache kufanya kazi na grudge. Grudge haitasaidia. Wacha kufanya mambo na revenge. Tumeona umekuwa ukipunguzia watu wetu, president mwenye ametufanyia kazi nzuri. Mambo ya security imepunguzwa. SG wetu hivyo ana nini. So mi ningekuomba, sisi kama chama cha Jubilee tuko hapa kama opposition and we are here to stay. Na Jubilee haijakufa kama vile mnasema imekufa. Iko imara na tuko ndani ya Azimio. Asanteni.
We are reclaiming our victory.
Students.
My name is Anthony Manyora. I am the president Kenya University Student Organization and also the president of East African Students Union. I stand here as a member of Jubilee Party and we are all supporting Azimio to the end. Number two, I would like to remind Kenyans that this government has so much oppressed the common mwananchi. And the people that today, they have made a decision to cross over to this oppressive government, UDA. We want to give them a stern warning because we know very well that Jubilee Party is not a briefcase party. This is a party that has its own constitution. It has a structure. It has its own values. These people that went there because of greed, that move was very lackadaisical. We are not going to agree. We are going to ensure as the defenders of Jubilee Party that even if they go there and get money, they will go back to their houses and Jubilee Party will not be part of them. We are going also to request the Secretary General for Jubilee Party here, Bwana Kioni, to expunge or to excommunicate those members from Jubilee Party because of this work of being traitors of the party. Lastly, I would like to say that you cannot pickpocket a naked man. This government has oppressed the common of the common. True or false? True. We have seen all the commodities go up. Even when I speak on behalf of university students in the country, the money that was supposed to be given for help, it was supposed to be given back in November. They are releasing 2.7 billion, which is not even enough. More than 140,000, your own children, they have not received. More than 140,000. What we are waiting for the government to release is 5.7 billion. Mimi nikiwa hapa nimekuja pia nikirepresent MDD, Movement for the Defense of Democracy, MDD. Tunajua vizuri kabisa sana we may be targeted because we belong to this party, we belong to this movement, but we are saying we are not cowards. Ni ukweli watu wamekandamizwa. Today mumeona mambo ya NSSF. Pesa imeongezewa from 200 to 2000. Kweli ama si kweli?
Kweli.
Hiyo ni kukandamiza watu ambao unasema ya kwamba unawarepresent. We are not going to allow. Are we not going to allow? We are not going to allow. Lastly, nataka kumalizia nikisema hii chama ya Jubilee iko imara. Wale watu ambao wanaenda huko kupewa pesa, Kenyans are not fools. Kenyans are not stupid. They can see the move that you have taken because of money. Pesa kidogo tu unataka kutengeneza chama ingine huko ya briefcase. But this is the original party that we belong to. All the university students, all the youth, we have Mudalo here as our chairman. I mean, all these people belong to this party, and this is the legitimate one. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say, kwa sababu ya muda, allow me to say this. I know all these gentlemen and ladies wanted to say something. And not just these ones. Even from the countryside, the level of anger, the level of betrayal is overwhelming. Jubilee, like my colleague, my young brother here, or my son has said here, is not a briefcase party. This is a serious party. It's been in government for 10 years. Wewe kama unataka kwenda, tafadhali tunasema kwa heri ya kuonana. Na hapa tuko tunaendelea. And I want to thank all these men and women, members of our party. Sababu wenyewe ndio wamekibiwa kinuiza, we must do a pleasure before we go and sleep. And I thank you for that. Mengine tutafanya polepole. We don't hatustuki ama turiwi na watu ambao na watubaduki wanatembea usiku. Asanteni sana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nashukuru. Having our parliamentary group meeting. And this is a parliamentary group meeting organized by the leadership of Parliament, of Azimio Parliament leadership, where we were looking at various issues and resolutions were led out this afternoon. Later in the day today, from around 1 o'clock, we were then scheduled to have our People's Baraza at Mafoko, and we had a very successful meeting that we have just finished. So those of us you are seeing here are people who are part of that meeting. We have just come from Mafoko to try and talk about the issues that are concerning Kenyans. But I think there are also a few things that we need to clarify, arising from developments that may have come from some quarters that are quite unfamiliar. Let me just start by saying something that is clear to us. Jubilee Party was formed and founded by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, the former head of state or the former president of this republic. We have a functioning constitution that guides us as to what we can do and how and who. We have very many party organs provided for in the constitution. And one of the party organs that is provided for is called the National Executive Committee. The National Executive Committee is provided for in our constitution and can only be convened by 2 people or 2 officials of the party. One of the officials who can convene the organ is the party leader. The other person who is mandated by the constitution to convene such an organ is the Secretary General. Any other meeting convened by others outside the 2 party officials that I have mentioned is of no legal consequence. Secondly, this where we are the Jubilee headquarters, the office of the Jubilee Party. We moved here maybe a week or 2 ago. If there are any party activities that needs to be conducted, they are conducted within these premises. Thirdly, Jubilee Party, during its NDC on the 26th of February last year, resolved to be part of Azimio. We resolved that we were not going to have a presidential candidate. Our presidential candidate was going to be Raila Amolo Odinga under Azimio coalition ticket. Jubilee was not going to field a presidential candidate. We are members of Azimio today, and that is why we were at Manzoni, and that is why we have just come from number 4 Kolari. You have seen us in Kamukuji, Jacaranda, and even Kibla. And we are heading to Busia, we are heading to Kisii, we will be in Narok as scheduled by our Azimio party leader. But just to put a few things into context, June 2020, a section of the Jubilee then, now members of UDA, attempted to form a Jubilee Asili. They attempted to take over Jubilee, and they did not succeed. They went ahead to even try and form Jubilee Asili, and they had even some fake premises somewhere. It never went anywhere. These attempts will always be there, because there are those people who not want to identify with the cause that we have taken, the cause we took, and we have taken, and we remain faithful to. And that is the cause of the Azimio coalition, where we are saying that we have an illegitimate regime in office, for the reason that the votes that we garnered under the leadership of Raila Odinga were 8.1 million votes.